The NFL first round has come and gone, and no Shedeur Sanders selection, Smitty. The prime sexuals are out in defense mode, calling everybody haters this morning. Apparently, the truth don't matter when it comes to him. If you disagree with this family, you are a hater, as in Dan Orlovsky was called last night by Dion himself. But if you agree and dick ride the family, you are in good graces. So basically, if you lie to the family and tell them that they are better than they are, like Ryan Clark does, you are cool. You're invited to the barbecue and the cookouts and the reunion. If you don't and you use your professional eyes and evaluate this kid, you are a hater when you say he just isn't good. Got it now. I got it. I said he wouldn't get picked in the first 10, and then my co-host called me a hater and even suggesting that then said he wouldn't even be – I said, Smitty, he won't even be the second quarterback selected, and I was called even a bigger hater. And then I said I was told I didn't know football when I said Jackson Dart would be selected second in an interesting move by the Giants, which only tells us what I have been saying for months. Shedeur Sanders simply isn't regarded as a quarterback that can help us win right now. But what do I know, Smitty? Mark Clayton and Jaguar analyst Tony Pauline joins us. Smitty, let's dive right into that lead in real quick. Surprise or not surprised? I know you're surprised you picked them to go to the Giants at 3. Let me ask you something, a real talk conversation on a Free Game Friday. Were you just saying that out of emotion because you like the kid, like the family, like to see kids succeed like you do? I felt embarrassed for him last night when he posted an IG post addressing his party. I like the fact that he addressed the party. I just wish he didn't post it. I thought that was a bad look on his team, meaning his marketing team or whoever was behind him, or whether it's Dion, whatever. I'm glad he owned it, smiled, and all that. That's who he is anyway, right? I think, like you mentioned on the before we started the show, every athlete is cocky. Every athlete is arrogant, and especially at quarterback. I talk more shit than anybody.
Gotta be.
Didn't have phones to show it. I would have been crazy on the internet. I just want to know, like, I felt embarrassed for the kid. I felt sad for the kid because at the end of the day, he's still a kid in my eyes. It's not a cat that, like, this ain't fucking life or death war. We're not fucking going in the front line here with these cats. Like, there's going to be a brighter day tomorrow. Like, it just didn't help the kid to me, in my opinion. And I felt bad for the kid last night when I watched that post and him saying, you know, I mean, the cat really is not a great speaker. Like, it's just a bad look. I wouldn't have posted it. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, it is what it is, Smitty. How shocked are you that he fell all the way out of the first round, a little less the top 10, as I said?
I'm flabbergasted. And I don't even use that word because I'm not shocked. I'm flabbergasted.
That's a white word. That's the whitest word I've ever heard you say, probably. Oh, and tripod.
It's a white day.
Tripod.
It's a white day, homie. It's a white day. Tripod, flabbergasted, everything white today. I need that today and some dip. I need everything white. I need that today. That's how I feel right now. Listen, to answer your initial question, no, I wasn't just saying him to the Giants because I support him. I know the Giants need a future quarterback, and I just didn't think that they would pass up on Shedeur. I thought Shedeur was going to be the guaranteed second quarterback. We've been hearing over the last couple of days and weeks or so that Jackson Dart was sneaking up on people's boards, but I just thought that was just regular pre-draft talk that we always hear. A lot of times you hear all this and that, and when the draft day comes, ends up being what everybody originally thought in the first place. So I thought the Giants would go quarterback, and they did. They just went with Jackson Dart instead of Shedeur, which shocked me.
But they didn't.
Later on, they got him. That's all I'm saying. Later on.
Yeah, but how did they get him?
Through trade.
That's got to be a telltale sign, Smitty. Like what I've been telling y'all, man. They moved up in a trade to get a second pick in the first round to snatch a quarterback not named Shedeur. Like, that's what the crazy part is, homie. Like, it's not crazy to me. That's what people are not discussing. That you moved up in the draft to make a decision on getting a quarterback, which I still don't agree with. I don't agree with Jackson Dart pick. I graded the Giants' overall grade that you and I will probably get into today. I graded them down. I graded them an A on Abdul Carter, which is an obvious choice.
Yep.
And then you minus that out with a quarterback when your team lacks so much after you just signed 2 quarterbacks, and next year's class in quarterback will be better. And I'm sure you're probably going to be in the same predicament next year drafting a quarterback. So, doesn't help at all. You could have got another defensive tackle to go with Dexter Lawrence and that great pass rush. You could have solidified the front and possibly been a top 5.
They don't need no more D-linemen, homie. That D-line is
you never have enough D-linemen. Ask the Eagles. You never have enough D-linemen.
I hear you.
When it comes to the Steelers,
I'm going 2 first-round D-linemen. I don't think I'm doing that. You know what
I
I'm
hear
saying?
you. Well, you never have enough pass rush, especially if they end up trading Thibodeau. Here's the issue.
They ain't going to trade him.
I'm shocked. We'll get into our biggest shocks and surprises. I think
this is a shock though for me. The biggest point in which I was shocked though is that number 21. Remember I told y'all yesterday. I said in the event he doesn't go number 3 to the Giants, I said I know he goes to the Steelers. It just makes sense. It's like, oh man, even all the analysts on TV was like, it's just the time of Shedeur.
But it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
They don't have a quarterback right now. We still know where Aaron's gonna go, so it makes sense.
Last night, it doesn't make sense at all. Cam Hayward is on his way out. Yesterday, I called this specific pick, and I called it live, Bailey, right? Factor cap. I said that Cam Hayward is on his way out. And I said, we just saw the Eagles, which I thought Smitty would appreciate, a Fletcher Cox on his way out. And what did they have in lieu of Fletcher Cox on his way out waiting? They had a guy named Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis ready to go. And the Steelers built on foundation on defense. Guess what you have to do? Get some D linemen in there for a Cam Hayward dismissal or removal or replacement, whatever you want to say. And so I called it live. I said, there's no way you could take a quarterback if you're really trying to be a serious contender. And then on the backside, Smitty, I said, there's got to be. I said that Shedeur Sanders not being taken or being taken is a very, I think before you left last night's show, I said it's going to be super evident if they have a handshake deal with Aaron Rodgers on the side that nobody else knows about. Because if you got a handshake deal with Aaron Rodgers, or you're going to trade out and go get a Kirk Cousins or whoever at this point, then you go D lineman. And that's what they did, homie. Something tells me that, first of all, you and I both trust Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, we do.
We're going to go with Mike Tomlin, and he knows what he's doing. And then on the other end is, that's the Steelers, dog. Get defense, get a great defense. You already got wideouts. You got some things in place. Now, guess what? You obviously have some sort of scenario at quarterback, or I don't think we'd be talking about it this morning.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that, man. So that's why as soon as he made that move, I said, yeah, Aaron must have said something behind the scenes. There's no way,
or something.
Or whatever. Whether it's Aaron, whatever, you got somebody at quarterback, because in this league, I don't care how great the defense, the D line, you need a quarterback. Point blank period. It is what it is. So, and I'm not, again, who knows if Shedeur would have been the answer? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying as a team, you have to at least try to get a quarterback. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So,
yeah, here's the thing. Like, to me, I brought it out last night. You waste that pick if you grab a quarterback in Shedeur Sanders at 21 because you have so much building block. You got to continue to build on what you have, the playoffs, the ready to go, get better, to compete with the Ravens and the Browns and stay ahead of the curve and get to the playoffs again and win a playoff game. Let me ask you this, Smitty. It did not make sense for Tomlin to draft Shedeur Sanders if every year so far, since you've been on this show for 2 years, every time they hit a skid, what is the narrative out on the media? Fire Mike Tomlin every fucking year. And then Mike Tomlin goes on a win streak, they get to the playoffs, and it goes away. And then you can't draft Shedeur Sanders. He doesn't help your team right now. Mike Tomlin needs to be helped right now to get another team. They got to win a playoff game. They haven't won a playoff game, and this guy is going to be on the hot seat again, unfortunately. That's just the name of the business. And I believe that Harbaugh, even though he signed an extension, is going to be in the same boat. These two haven't won a playoff game. No, I'm not in a playoff game. They haven't won a Super Bowl since 10 and 11. So
John Harbaugh, he not no hot seat at all. His seat is very cold.
I said just because he signed an extension don't mean that they're not going to look at his ass either soon. The Ravens and the Steelers want to win Super Bowl, Smitty. Let's make no mistake about it.
Yeah, but they're in different boats though. The Pittsburgh Steelers, you were right in your Freudian slip up. The Steelers ain't won a playoff game in a long time. The Ravens was just an AFC
Ravens win playoff games. Yeah,
Ravens. They're different.
I meant Super Bowl at the end though. At the end of the day, they got to win Super Bowl.
I don't think hard, but I think it's different. But I don't know, man. It's crazy to me. But then to move to the Giants real quick though. If they're gonna go quarterback, I just like, damn, like what did y'all see? And I said yesterday, I said Jackson Dart had a good college career. Like he's a solid. I thought he was a solid quarterback. But I'm just curious, like, what did you see that made you want to move up and go get Jackson? Like, well, I'm just curious, like, what was it? Like, what was it? Is he a safe pick? Is he?
Nah, homie, we got to stop looking at what it was. We just got to start calling it out and say what it is. The fact of the matter is they took a guy over another guy for a reason.
I'm wondering what is that reason. I'm just wondering what is from a field standpoint. What did Jackson Dart like? What is he better than Shedeur? I'm asking. I'm not a quarterback guru. I'm asking.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a Jackson Dart guy.
I know that's what I'm saying. I know you're not. That's why
that tells us, because listen, last night we talked in length about this after you left. I said, let me ask something real quick. Brian Daboll's regarded or considered amongst NFL brass as one of the best quarterback guys in all of football.
Because of what he did with Josh Allen.
Well, not only that, he's had a resume. He's been coaching a long time. He's a great quarterback coach amongst coaches. We know, not the social media guy in the chat and acts like he's shitty head coach. And let's talk quarterbacks. The dude knows what he's doing. He's obviously a great offensive guy and quarterback guy. And listen, for him to pass on Shedeur, move up in the draft and get a first-round quarterback, not named Shedeur, at some point, his job's on the line. Tells me two things. Number one, that they just don't like Shedeur, as I've been saying, as far as making their team better. Number two, which I don't like the pick at all. I think it equals their draft first-round grade to a C after Abdul Carter. And then this thing, they could have got better, in my opinion, because you just signed 2 QBs on me. So I'm confused on the pick a little bit, but I'll break that down later.
I don't mind them getting a quarterback because to me, they're planning for now and the future.
Here's the issue.
James is here for 1 year. So let's say you have a solid, decent year.
Nah, James is 2 years. James is 2, though. So that's the issue I have. It's a very big difference.
For the contract. I bet you there's ways to get out that second year.
Well, I'm sure there is, but he signed a 2-year, $8 million deal, and Russell signed a 1-year, $21 million deal. I'm sure you can get out of the second year, but the fact is you signed him on a 2-year deal.
That's baby money, too, by the way. He can get that's not.
Yeah. Here's the issue, though. Like, first of all, we got to believe that this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to QBs, number one. Number two, somebody behind the scenes told Brian Daboll that you can move up and draft a quarterback not named Shedeur and still be fired. Some don't add up, homie. You get what I'm saying? That means they said, yeah, dog, just do good. Get some future QB picks in here. Get a future QB pick, to your point. You don't get a future QB pick after you sign 2 quarterbacks in the offseason, homie, when you have a roster full of holes. You don't get to pick a QB when you got 2 guys. When next year's class, Smitty, is better than this year's class when it comes to QB, and you got guys out there like Arch Manning and these other guys who are regarded better than anybody in this draft, and I'm just saying most likely, homie, unless something happens crazy, the Giants are going to be right back in this predicament.
They're going to have we'll see. I think they're going to have a better year than last year.
They might. They
got better quarterback play because Daniel Jones is not good. So all I'm saying is, if that's the case, if I'm right, and let's say they go win 8 games.
But Daniel wasn't there last year.
Let's say he was there for a few games and he got hurt. Yeah. But when he was there, he was horrible. So
that whole team was bad, homie. Look what they did without him.
The leader that was horrible. So all I'm saying is, if they got, and their defense is really good. The Giants' defense is really good. So I'm not gonna say the whole team was horrible. So and they have the best rookie receiver, by the way, Malik Neighbor. So it wasn't all horrible. So anyway, they go here and win 8 games this year, just as an example. They're not going to
Daniel Jones is your guy's quarterback.
They're not going to have the same pick. They're not going to be that high in the draft.
No, I didn't say same pick, but I'm saying you can still make a move next year in the draft. If you don't make that move this year, you could have got a better pick, is all I'm saying. You could have got a need position filled, is all I'm saying. So, I don't know. But D. Jones is your quarterback now in Indianapolis. And besides me just calling out the play of the kid, I don't want to go into – it ain't about – I don't want to hear color, fucking race. It's all stupid shit. you agree to that as well. I don't know. It's dumb shit. Let's just talk about what I've been saying from jump and which gets passed over. What have I been saying for months and months and months about this particular QB draft in totality?
It's the worst you've seen in maybe
right.
ever.
So, but everyone keeps coming back at me about, oh, you're a Shedeur hater. The whole QB class is bad. I would not have wasted a pick on Jackson Dart at number 2, but I did say he would be the second QB taken. I don't believe in this class. Now, having said that, I believe that this whole thing is a bad look on Deion Sanders, one of the greatest players of all time, after his emotional responses on social media has also looked bad, because it's a lot of hypocrisy being thrown out here right now about what's going on with this kid. And you cannot, as I've been saying, criticize this family or these players in that family without being called a hater. I've never seen a shit like this in my life. I've never seen a more protected kid that's super mid than over Shedeur Sanders. I've never not seen it. Haven't seen it. We love Deion Sanders. I love Deion Sanders. We love him. I get it, homie. But that's not the truth. The truth of the matter is we got to critique and judge a quarterback in the NFL. And when you do so, like Dan Orlovsky did last night, Deion goes to Twitter and talks and says he's a hater. I think that's a bad look. So Dan Orlovsky can't even have an opinion anymore. And I'm not, you know me, I'm hot at Dan right now. Dan makes a prediction, makes a claim, stakes his name on it, and Deion calls him a hater. And because the prime sexuals come in, oh, Dan turned into a hater, man. Hate to see it. Yes, he did. Wow, Deion says. But I want to know, Smitty, real quick. Again, Marcus Spears goes on social media or goes on live last night and says this. I don't know if you've heard it. But
first of all, we all sit up here and we have an affinity for these guys, and we don't want to shed a bad light on them. We react to what we see.
But it's our job. It's our job.
What I'm about to say, Dan, nothing about Shedeur pops off the tape.
Right.
And when we start talking about quarterbacks where you taking them to be franchise changers and you think that they can be guys to take you into the next 10, 15 years, he hasn't proven that he can be that guy yet. Now, then it becomes, all right, our conversation shifts to development, because we've all had that conversation. Where do you think this dude's ceiling is if he's not there right now? Since he's not giving us anything to say, okay, this trait or this characteristic takes him above what we see him lacking. That's the issue with Shedeur.
Can he become Geno Smith?
Exactly. And when you ask your question, when you ask as an organization that question, does Geno Smith really get you excited? No. It doesn't. I think it's a good starter, but it's not a guy that you think is going to put you in competition to win big games.
It looks bad, homie, because Deion needs to come out and say, Marcus, you a hater now. Because if you're not, don't say it, homie. It's a fucking hypocrisy at its finest. And this is all we've been seeing for the last 2 years. One-sided takes, homie, by a group protecting the Sanders family out of emotion, not factual opinions from professionals. Is Marcus Spears going to be called out now by Deion? That's what I want to know today, homie. Are the prime sexuals going to call out Marcus Spears today and not just come at JB and Dan Orlovsky? Let's be real, homie. So we got an opinion. Two guys that played the position and a lineman on the same network, and they, all of them, saying the same shit. So I'm curious, homie. Are we going to continue to talk about this and call out Marcus Spears today? Because I ain't heard it yet. I ain't seen it. I want to see Deion come out and tweet and say, damn, Marcus, why you hating? Because that's the narrative, homie. He's a hater. So it's funny how that shit works. I'm so glad Marcus Spears had the balls to go out there and say the truth. And the truth is the kid's just not very good. We got to put emotion aside. I also feel for the kid yesterday slipping when he had to go put a video out there addressing his fans that showed up, and it looked embarrassing. I had secondhand embarrassment for Shedeur Sanders last night as he addressed that shit, and they filmed it. I would have done that as a grown man and said, man, it is what it is. I got to strap up, fucking get ready to go. It's more motivation, fuels the fire. As Smitty said, I'm going to go out here and go grind. Did this humble you to go get better, as Nick Saban said live? Because it don't matter where you get selected, Smitty. If you get your foot in the door and get an opportunity that you and I would have loved to have on that day,
100%.
He would have said, fuck it, let's go grind and get the job done. I'm curious, does this fuel him to put away the chain, the Bentley, the bullshit?
No, see, that's where we disagree. That's where I disagree.
Because you don't macro think, homie.
I don't need to put my chain away in my nice car because y'all feel uncomfortable that I got money and then I'm no,
I'm not comfortable.
I'm gonna go out here and bust my ass. Let me take and develop my game. That's how I prove myself. What I wear, the chains I wear, the car I drive doesn't need to change to make you feel better because you ain't got it. That's where I disagree. I'm with you on everything else you said.
All right, no, keep that energy.
I gotta step in for that though.
Keep that energy.
That's my chain. So who cares?
Keep that energy. Here's my point. Why do we give a fuck? See, that's the problem. See, everybody last night come at me, y'all. Shedeur has more money than everybody in this chat. Y'all hating on this kid. I give a fuck how much money this kid has. I really do. It doesn't bother. It doesn't make me none. Because at the end of the day, Smitty and I are supposed to be talking about him on the football field and where he gets drafted and what he does in the NFL.
Let's talk about that.
But I could give a fuck about his chains, his money, etc. The fact of the matter is, are you going to put that shit aside and become the quarterback that we want to discuss and break down, or is it always going to be something else? That is my point on the humility part.
But what's the something else? Something else is stuff that to me we've created. What's the something else?
Exactly.
Shedeur ain't got no trouble. He ain't did nothing off the field. He ain't had nothing in school. He ain't did
my point.
He's just flashy like his daddy. He's flashy like his daddy. He's flashy, and we don't like that.
Say it again.
He's flashy like his daddy.
No. Say who put this kid out there like that? You said it. We. You said it, homie. You said we have put this kid out there like that to get judged like this. That's my whole point. My whole point of this. We put this kid on a pedestal, homie, before he put a fucking cleat on in the NFL. And that is why last night I said I felt for the kid because, again, homie, we keep saying these kids are this good before they ever do shit. And we set these cats up for massive failure. At the end of the day, Smitty, regardless of what you want to say about me, I coach these kids, the same similar kids, background, stories, drama. Yeah. I, at the end of the day, feel for the kid who made me look at secondhand embarrassment last night when he addressed a crowd of people showing up to tell them.
I get it.
Like, homie, why? Because we put it on that we put this kid on this thing that he's a first rounder. His daddy a year ago, he got community noted yesterday by Twitter, homie. Because he said last year the kid would be a top 5 pick, which is embarrassing.
That's his daddy. Of course you're going to speak life into
his kid. It's stupid.
And we all thought he was. You thought he was. So, hey, you know what I'm saying? That's not some crazy thing to say. This draft isn't amazing. It isn't an amazing draft class, especially for quarterbacks. We thought he was a first-round quarterback in this year's draft. That's not putting him on a pedestal. That's just saying, hey, this year, you're one of the better quarterbacks.
But it is, though, Smitty.